Hello, this is Esa Ruoho of Paketti Creationship, and what you're seeing here is Music Mouse. And I'm gonna show it to you. I've got the Music Mouse square right here as a bell type sound, and what's gonna happen is this. And since I have it in the mode where the key jazz punch is set on, that means that it will only trigger when I hit I, O, or P. I, O, and P, of course, mean square, saw, or sine. Anyway, so let's hit this. Let's hit this. And as you can see, I can fool around in this space as much as I can or want, and it won't get recorded. But I've enabled or created something that is specific to Paketti about Music Mouse. And the idea here is that if I am in this dialogue and I press the right shift key, it kicks me to the pattern editor. It enables edit mode and pattern follow, meaning that I guess I can show it maybe like this. Yeah, like that. So I can go. And there it is. And then I can, of course, try and make it into a rhythmic thing, maybe like that. And then hit another track and pick another sound. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit maybe a rounded square. There we go, it got triggered as it got rendered. So let's see if I can maybe. That seems sensible, so I'll be like right shift. Like that. Let's see what I've been doing here previously. So and these, if I click on these, what happens actually is that they become memories, so it's easier to go like, okay, that and that and that. And these are actually continued or saved continuously to the Music Mouse settings, which means that it's very easy to go, okay, I'll hit this and this and this. And there's also something, well, for some reason I decided, or a decision was made, that these are called gravity, which means that if I hit the gravity play, you're gonna hear it like this. Like that, and then you can clear the seeds, of course. And of course, well, there's a lot of features in here which is kind of surprising. So all I did was take the idea and the manual of Music Mouse, and this popped out. And there's harmonic modes in here. I can of course add some more in here. So if I hit maybe Middle Eastern, and then was it shift click or delete? Yeah, I can also have this on. If I now press space, I can fool around anywhere in here without worrying that it's gonna lose my position. Which means that if I hit space again, I can then just go, okay, that's a good one. Maybe. And then go like, okay. This is why I put in space, because when you just want to get from here to here, you don't want to be triggering these lower notes, unless if you do, whatever. So anyway, the treatments are there. You can do arpeggiate, and in this case, it'll work like this. There's also a launchpad support here, so if you happen to have a Novation launchpad, just plug it in, and it should automatically detect and then start allowing you to use the launchpad as a Music Mouse MIDI controller. There's also a pattern editor in here, so you can enable the pattern. Let's hit light and dark. Okay, that's still not very cool looking. But there's a key, jazz, punch, record, write, shift, play, edit, follow, imprint. Pattern applies to all voices. The pattern, you can go to pattern and then let's see. You can of course add some more voices if that's your trip. And change it to chords. Disable the pattern, melody. Actually, this is pretty interesting. I'll just have to fix it. That pattern apply should not re-trigger everything. If I was to mute everything, this sounds interesting, so I'm gonna click on that, and anyway, I'm gonna mute everything except this and see what it sounds like, and more to the point, what it actually writes to the pattern. So like this, and then space again. Well, I mean, okay. Space is actually leaking. Okay, so maybe leak. There. So let me just write them up quickly. So the first things were switching voices should not re-trigger the whole chord. Switching harmonic modes should not re-trigger the whole chord. Actually, switching any of the drop downs or check boxes should not trigger the whole chord. especially if space mode is on, meaning that nothing is being written and should never be written. Nothing is being triggered and should never be triggered. While in space mode, music mouse grid area follow is off. There should be a state where space does not bleed into the pattern editor, because that's just confusing. Capture the space even if mouse is not on the grid. The tempo 1, 2 is not self-explanatory. One of them is more meaningful than the other. And why is there MIDI jitter when changing chords? Let's jump back to that. Gravity play, clear seeds. Gravity play should have... Stop the timer! Hey Siri, stop the timer! Gravity play should have a method of only triggering on every 4th beat or 8th beat or 16th beat, so that we have a more an improved way of controlling when they hit. Then move launchpad text, the ripple light show, to actually be hover on launchpad text and launchpad drop down. This will reduce the width of the dialogue. Keys re-init. Mute voices. Mute voices is too wide. Reduce the after number padding so that they are closer. So they take less width. Have a checkbox for hiding the pianos but retaining the grid. Have a checkbox for hiding the details, only show grid piano for width reduction. Have a button that shows the record pattern as red. Have a button that shows record pattern state as red when enabled, purple when, well, gray when deactivated. And oh yes, pressing I, O, or P or actually O on the Finnish keyboard should result in the current selected sound being re-triggered. Meaning if you picked rounded square and press I or O, then it gets triggered while in key jazz punch mode. Instead of switching to some other waveform bell sound. This should actually be savable, so that the user picks their 3 favorite waveforms and then they get used, triggered by IOP. But O will trigger the currently selected one, and even have a Shift I that works like this. It will pick round robin style, which one to hit. Move mode, sustain bell to be on the same row as the waveform. Retitle wave to waveform. The drop-down menu for waveform should be on the same alignment and same area as all the above drop-downs. It currently visually jitters, which is not harmonic to the eye. And all the title fonts, pattern movement, mouse movement, voices, grouping, launchpad, are using a very spacious monotype type font, which is not pleasing to the eye. Replace with a regular font, but in font strong and style bold, or vice versa. You know the Lua drill. And actually, this is a good question. If I got this, yeah, generate new Pakettified instrument should. Well, actually, let's see. So that, yeah, should be on the same row as waveform mode. So it's just create new. And then I think that's enough. But it also begs the question, yeah, pattern, oh yeah, visually pattern drop down should be as wide in total with the checkbox as the other drop downs. It would thus balance out visually harmonically. Now what else? Pattern editor drag bars A plus 09 contour. You can increase the length and draw these. Okay, this could be okay. Is there an error here? Length plus should communicate when no more can be added. And why is it capped at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 anyway? Can't we do 64 or 32 at least, and allow for buttons, switch radio switches for jumping from one to the other? What's the keys? Wow, music. Okay, that's kind of readable, but not really. Music mouse keyboard map needs some more loving, especially since the dialog that opens already says music mouse keyboard map using M dash, which is not preferred. Then the very next line says music mouse keyboard map using M dashes. This is redundant and should be fixed. Everything else passes unlisted keys F5, F12. In music mouse keyboard map, fix the title headings to be font bold, style strong for readability. And as you can see, all the after tab indentation fluctuates wildly. Space freeze stops the record. Okay, yeah, that's the problem. We can do better with the music mouse keyboard map. How about you make them buttons, them keys buttons, so you can click on them and hit them and see that you pressed them. Would be pretty cool. And because Music Mouse already has some MIDI mappings to it, just hit it so that you can enable Command M MIDI mapping mode and see the buttons themselves highlight, so user can click on a button, press a MIDI command button slider, and the end result is that they are bound to the Music Mouse features. Oh, that's kind of neat. Z and X. Z and X for transpose is fine, but are also great. Add both, don't remove either. Interval. Cycle tunings. Okay. Cycle tuning should be made available as a drop-down menu instead of press tab and hope for the best. Mouse motion parallel contrary. Chord memory. I think that's enough for now. But anyway, you can see that this is where we're at. This is Music Mouse. We're gonna make it better. And I hope you enjoy what you can do with this, because the way I thought about it was, oh yeah, this is the most important thing to fix. When in pattern mode with pattern applies to melody, the bug is that while there is a point where the chords get and should get triggered, the same chords get triggered on every melody pattern. So the melody pattern should be separately triggered over the chord, because currently it just floods the whole system. Write a test and use Paketti MCP about why the MIDI jitters. And one more thing. Oh yeah, the note columns should be automatically enlarged or increased so that the user is not, oh, I have a one note column on this track. Why is Music Mouse Paketti version not writing chords? It's just triggering notes on the first note column. Depending on the voices count, increase the note column content. And I wonder what else. The arpeggio. The arpeggiate should have more than one arpeggiate. I think we should have going up, going down, and scatter, and strum using delay notes. You can definitely pull this all off. I think this would be a sizable improvement to the whole system, and let's hope for the best and see what happens. And more to the point, this is the first time I'm actually using this record mic, so hopefully you got both the system audio and the microphone, and you're pretty happy hearing me develop Music Mouse as I go about it. So let's see what happens. Hopefully the script worked.